But when you think about humanity in deep space, you understand that what we are on a speck of dust. In a cloud of dust. And any of you who have ever been in a plane and you try to look down, you can't see anybody. And it brings a bit of gravitas to the fact that although in way up there, when you look down here, there's nobody. Here we are, moving around, bustling, struggling, living our lives. And it's extraordinary that a universe, a pluriverse, a reality that didn't have to give a damn about us, and for the most part, went on perfectly fine without us, and someday may continue without us, somehow in the midst of all that, we took a moment to think. And as we thought, and as we inscribed in symbols and reached to each other, we entered a different reality, a reality of meaning, a reality of beauty, a reality of caring, a reality of struggle, a reality that discloses so many ways in which we can grow. And that is linked to education. And there are those who would try to close off the way we think of education, to colonize it, to lock it into a form of serialized repetition of and commodified outcome. But it is important for many of us to remember what it truly means to be part of a community of learning, what it is to learn together, what it is to understand learning that transcends the singular notion of what is in it for me. And GCAS was animated by the spirit of saying that there's always an us. There's always something greater than us. And what better moment through which to get this accreditation than on Earth Day? Because even though that speck of dust and that cloud of dust is still swirling out there, it is our speck of dust. And each of us in it realize, as we struggle against the degradation of humanity, where some people think, for instance, that the lives of so many don't matter. We've been witnessing in this pandemic and these struggles that every day we get up and we face the good fight to remember what it is to live with each other with dignity and respect. And part of that is an education that's not simply instrumental, but understand what it is to build and continue building a world in which we live together and in which we serve as the condition of possibilities for others to bring out what it is to be free, and what it is to respect each other, and what it is to take on the responsibility of what humanity and many other forms of life can offer. And it's with that in mind, I simply say, I'm overjoyed to be with you all, my comrades, friends, and the community who will one day, whom we do not know, may look at this brief recording and say thank you. So to everybody with you, and I got to say, Mazel Tov, okay? And so to everybody, I could also say Duanete, and that's a very ancient language. In the most ancient among these languages in East Africa, all the way from the people of Kemet, it's like saying Mazel Tov, because it is indeed a blessing to be together today and to celebrate this occasion. Thank you.
Clearly, the educational model that's in place is broken. Education has become a commodity that increasingly only the wealthy can pay for. universities are, even elite universities, are being deformed into vocational institutions. I have taught at Princeton 3 times as a visiting professor. It's right down the street from me. Like Harvard, its most popular major is computer science. The humanities are withering away. People are paying, families are going into deep debt, $60,000 a year, and education is sold as, especially if you get into an elite university, not for its merits in terms of teaching you how to think, but giving you the status, the branding, and the skills to enter elite institutions that can make you wealthy. Goldman Sachs, of course, descends on Princeton every year. People scramble in their freshman year. That first week, I will see these young kids in tuxedos and ball gowns going off to the eating clubs to try and especially get into the elite ones like Ivy, because that has a direct connection to Goldman Sachs. There's such a distortion and destruction within the educational system. And of course, as universities become so phenomenally expensive, especially the elite schools, they are pricing themselves out, but to a smaller and smaller portion of the population. It is, my son went to Colgate University and then went on to Columbia, but at Colgate, it was just a giant country club from Darien and Greenwich, Connecticut, and everywhere else. And that has been accompanied, of course, by the withering away of the humanities itself. We just saw Howard University, great university, shut down its classics department. I spoke a little while ago, a couple years ago, at the University of Washington. And when I was there, they had just announced that they were abolishing the philosophy and the theater department. Meanwhile, of course, they have a gleaming, well-funded business school. Business schools have no places on university campuses. So I think that what you're doing and the model you're setting up is important, because the old model is failing, certainly in terms of education, it's failing. The purpose of an education is, of course, to teach you how to think, not what to think. The purpose of an education is not to create systems managers for the corporate state. And that, of course, now has been, entire educational system has been riddled with that, especially through charter schools. So that if you go to an inner city school in Camden, you're taught enough vocational literacy to stack shelves at a Walmart or work behind the cash register at a fast food restaurant. And if you go to Princeton, you're given the vocational skills to go work for Citibank or Goldman Sachs or some other huge Wall Street concern. But of course, what this is really doing is creating a population that is bereft in many ways of what we would call a classical education. They lack the capacity to ask the questions. When you can't ask the questions, you can't find the answers. The humanities and education by its nature should be subversive. It is about deconstructing centers of power and looking at how they work, and examining those power systems and asking and confronting that monolithic power to ask what it means to lead a life of meaning and purpose. Though all of those transcendent values are being washed out of the educational system on purpose, of course. Even within universities, people are forced, professors are forced, especially at state universities, state colleges, to raise their own money for their own research, and of course, often for their own salaries. Well, who's going to pay? Is Citibank going to pay someone in the classics department or somebody in the English department to do research? No, they will pay for research that benefits them. And so I think that where you are moving and what you're doing is not only commendable and important, but responding to a deep and for me, very frightening decay that I have seen in the universities that I attended and the universities that I've taught at. So I just, wanted to briefly congratulate you on what you've done and look for, continued success as you go forward. Thank you.
Alberto, it's here, Antonio, Eduardo, Clara también está por ahí. Habemos varios, we are a few of the Latin American group. No, just really, really happy about this. And really happy with the, maybe, I don't know, I understand and I completely agree of the importance of this, but I think for me it's even more important that all the people that are here now, we are even when we weren't accredited. And we make a bet on this project. And I think that is really important. Never forget that independent of the institution and the recognition, we are here for something that we think it's important besides all that can come and be more big and the recognition and all that. But I think that this group that start without the accreditation, we should never forget that why we are here. That is for a new way of teaching, a different kind of institution, a more radical way to think. That is something that I think is the core of GCAS. And I think that's important for the people that we are here, that never, ever forget about that in the years to come. Just that, and I don't know if Alberto, Antonio, Eduardo, or Clara wants to say something. Just that. Thank you.
Thanks, Pancho.
All right. Thank you, Pancho. I will add just something. I'm Alberto from Peru. And well, I think, continuing with the idea of building a new schema, a new idea of education, I think that it's interesting how, for me, education, it's about building bridges. And I think the common bridge that we all share in this kind of experience, like in the spirit of GCAS, it's the idea of building a more critical education. And I think it's amazing to be part of this experience, because in these times of lack of the idea of citizenship and friendship and empathy in a political sense, this kind of experience allowed to build all these connections and to share the idea of global citizenship as, with the idea of a critical perspective of reality in the core of it. And I think, as it was said, the university today has forgot that in the base of education, it's the aim of being critical respect of the world. And I think that if we want to reintroduce the critical perspective, also we have to reintroduce the global perspective of this. And in Jakarta, in Latin America, in the North, in general, in Europe or the United States, well, we all share this aim of rebuilding a critical education, and that's the potency we have, and that's the potential of this. And well, I really believe in GCAS. I'm very glad for all this.
And thank you, Alberto, for your work on the academic council. You and Dr. Boilo, Kevin Boilo, and Pancho have done amazing work. Thank you. We'll just go one brief moment over to Jakarta, and I wonder if Cecile could just say hi. You don't have to say anything unless you would like to, but just to reach out and connect with you. If you're around.
I'm Cecile from Jakarta. I'm here actually with Vicky and Eva.
Can we see them? Can they come into the camera so we can see them, or is that too problematic? Okay, never mind. Okay.
It's a messy working table.
Oh, there. Hey, good to see you guys. Wow. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and it's almost midnight, so the others are mostly resting. So it's just the three of us right now. And great. Yeah, we're happy to be part of this amazing network. to know that we're not alone in this. We share ideas with global ally across the world, and it's I'm happy to be part of it, and congratulations for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecile. And I should mention that Cecile is the director of the Jakarta Group, and also is our designer. Let's move on to recognizing one of our funders for our first bachelor's accredited program. And these Sabrina and Eva Baltazar are coming from Winter Park, Florida. And would you like to say a few words, Sabrina and Eva?
Hi there, Kristen, and to everyone. Just wanted to let you all know that Frank, our son, or my brother, my mom's son, his birthday would have been today. Sadly, he did pass away years ago from unusual form of cancer, very quickly after 35 days. So today is somewhat bittersweet because it is his birthday, but also Earth Day, which he loved extremely, and now the accreditation of GCAS College with the help of Preston. So we just want to let you know that Frank did have an inquisitive mind and loved knowledge. And so GCAS is the perfect vessel for us to share his vision with future scholars. And we want to extend our heartfelt thanks to Preston, to the community of GCAS, to all the supporters, and hopefully his vision will be shared with future scholars. So thank you, Preston, and congratulations.
Thank you, Preston. Happy,
Yeah,
happy
exactly.
to be here. Congratulations to everyone that's been involved with this. Preston and I became acquainted around the time he first conceptualized GCAS. And it's really, really great to see this come to fruition. And I think for all of us that are in academia, we understand the importance of accreditation in the sense of what that opens up for our students. So the fact that this has come together and we can now offer some accredited degrees, I think is a real moment for GCAS as it begins to impact the world. And I think that's really the point, right? We're here to make a difference and to make a positive change.
Yeah, and it's just wonderful to see everyone. I would just, add my voice to the chorus of the sense that what GCAS does is something really unique and crucial to the current conjuncture. And I've been so proud to be part of it, to watch it develop. And this really, this step has been a dream for quite some time, and felt at times I think almost impossible, like a kind of a distant summit that continued to recede into the horizon.
Totally.
But it's a real turning point, and I think now we have tremendous potential to really define a new mode of higher education for the coming century. So it's wonderful to see everyone, and it's.
Well, I just want to say that Walter would be so pleased with this event today. So he's here with us and tremendously supportive of what GCAS is doing.
Indeed, we meet as a community, and there are times in life where, as you're walking forward, you turn around and you wonder, where have I come? As we go along the way, we realize that there are those who may have gone on different paths, but at the same time, our ongoing connectedness makes us all stand together in our heart. Because as we understand and we know that the disembodiment of us as simply a floating head, a floating mind, is not what it means to live. When we think about what it is to be connected, to reach forth, we understand that we're always part of something greater than ourselves. And together right now, we just simply say to our ancestors, to each other, and to those to come, a luta continua, but also there is the ongoing, life-giving, radical force of love. Cheers, everybody.
Kisses, everybody. Love you and thank you.